Now, through playing this game, I get to feel what that must feel like. You never played any sort of sport where it just all clicks when you do it. You sink the basketball and it swishes. You're in the zone, and that's the feeling. This game gives you that feeling. There's one downside, and Jeff brings this up a lot. You brought up last week with your Groundhog Day effect, where a lot of you die a lot in the game. You die a lot, and you have to repeat. This certainly, I can see this, being a not fun thing for people. I love it because I see it as a good suck.
You tend to like a lot of games like that. Some Ignition you liked, M+, both have that.
Yes, absolutely. In this game in particular, even in Grand Theft Auto 4, where if you die, you have to replay the mission over. But like in Grand Theft Auto 4 and in this, knowing that happens, the exhilaration that comes from two things. One, if you don't die, and you literally, as you're going, make all those split-second decisions and choose, feels amazing to me. The other thing is, if you do die a lot and you learn what you have to do, eventually knowing that you don't want to die again, the adrenaline that you feel and in trying to pull all that stuff off is great. There's puzzle in this game and to learn how to traverse, that was the word, traverse the terrain is amazing. Combat is cool at first, but when you're playing the game with this, where you're trying to not shoot anyone, it gets very one-notey, and I found myself just spamming the same buttons over and over again. After a while, it would click in that what it wants me to do is be flipping around, jumping, and fight one guy and flipping around and jumping, because you can't just approach people and attack them. And when you do that, I see that that's kind of fun, but I think I would have a lot more fun playing the game if I was shooting people. At least towards the end of the game.
I can tell you that's true.
Okay. I need to say also, graphically amazing. There's moments where I approached a window pane and I could see like dusty thumbprints on a window pane.
It's also the design.
Yeah, the design, that clean lines, which is perfect for this game.
Very IKEA, bright colors.
Yes, just simple, minimal. It gets a little redundant, but it seems necessary for this kind of game. Yeah. A little bit of an anti-aliasing, like in a game where it's all about clean lines. I felt when I
we all played on the PS3, I should say.
Yeah, yes.
So we haven't tried it on the 360.
That's true.
Or PC.
One more thing I wanted to say was I realized what my favorite this doesn't do something that I think is what all great games do. Even though I did think it was a great game with many flaws, is the ending of a game should be you have accrued power and you feel more powerful than you've ever felt at the end of the game.
Right.
Whereas in this game and many other games, the end becomes the most difficult challenge in the game. And I feel like, I think of Half-Life 2, for instance.
You're talking about in the databank area.
Yeah.
It's not the end. The end is really easy.
Yeah. Yes, right, yeah, absolutely. Well, that's just like whatever.
Yeah.
That's more like a story-oriented. Oh, the story was terrible in this game. I loved how the cutscenes, aesthetically, the style was, but I thought the story was terrible.
You mean the E-Assurance?
Yeah, totally.
I think it was written by Terry Pratchett's daughter.
Well,
interestingly enough, I think.
But do you guys understand what I'm saying though? Where I feel like when you get more power, as opposed to just being more difficult.
Sure. I was sorely disappointed by this game. Sorely disappointed. Like Dan and Jeff, I was super excited for this game. After playing it at E3, I was like, this is going to be such an amazing game. I really dislike this game. There are a few things that it does well, which I'll talk about real quick so that it's not a total slam fest. It really nails the feeling of personal momentum. Like you definitely feel like you are running, and as you do things correctly, you gain more speed, and there's a lot of satisfaction in the, I don't even know, I'm going too fast. I'm going too fast, there's a wall. I don't know, boom, boom, I'm up the wall and I'm still got my momentum. That was definitely satisfying, and there were moments of utter blissful joy running through this game. Those moments were few and far between, and they were marred by repeated, frustrating death to the point of, I know where I'm supposed to go. As I'm running so fast, I jumped just half an inch to the left and I died. Now I've got to go run and do this whole momentum thing over again. That got so old, so fast, it's not even funny. Yes, there are many different paths to get to your goal. However, each path is only able to be done one precise way. So though there are 15 paths, once you're on a path and you're like, my path now tells me I need to jump off this thing and grab that pole. That is such a minute, fine-tuned skill jump that when you're rushing up to it and you don't even really know. I mean, a lot of times it's like, oh, I see a red platform and I'm running. I jump off of it, and in the air, it's like, oh, that's the pole. Crack, die. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's not fun after a while for me, which was very disappointing because the rest of it was fun. The combat in this system is the worst combat I have ever experienced in a next-generation platformer. It is broken. I did try to use a gun, and it is just as bad. You're literally running, and you hear, hey, wait, boom, boom, 2 shots, you're dead. That's it. You don't even know where the guys are. Then you come back and you go, oh, I guess they're in this truck over here. Run, run, run. And then there was a moment, which is sort of where I got done with the game, where they said, no, you have to fight these guys. Because I was like, I get it. I'm gonna run away, and when I can't solve the puzzle of how to get away, they'll shoot me and kill me, and I'll start again. That was the way I played this game. And so there was a moment where it was like, no, you have to fight them.
Yeah,
and it
several moments like that.
Yeah. But it showed me how horrible the combat system was, because it was like, okay, I know it. I have to run up to this guy and hit the triangle at the right moment. And as I'm running up, as I'm even doing the triangle move, I get shot twice in the head and die.
Yeah.
That's not fun. There's nothing fun about that. So for me, I got to a point where the reward of that cool running feeling, which I loved so much, was so overshadowed by this horrible combat system and the horrible do it one way, do it correctly, or you're done.
I'm inclined to agree more with you than Dan, unfortunately. I think this game is so close to greatness. So close. It is such a great idea, and the mechanic is so wonderful that you're right. When it works,
oh, dude,
it is sublime.
Oh, dude.
It is the most exhilarating feeling of popping.
You feel like you're flying.
But I think there shouldn't be people with guns in this game. There shouldn't be enemies. This game is a platformer, so I don't mind the dying a bunch of times in the platforming parts, because that's what a platformer is. You miss the jump, you die. Mario had it.
Of course.
Every platforming game ever made. If you don't get there, you fall in the lava, you're dead.
Right.
Whatever. And a lot of this game is platforming. When you're indoors, I find this game less fun because it's just a first-person platformer, which doesn't really work. When you're outdoors on rooftops, picking paths, amazing.
Yeah.
But the thing that would have made the combat work, I think, in this game is it makes no sense to me that these guys are shooting point blank at an unarmed young girl.
Right.
If you choose to be unarmed in this game and approach them, they should change their tactics.
Yeah, to
I get it. They're evil. I get it. Right? But if the AI had been smart enough to decide, oh, she has not picked up a gun, so I'm going to try to take her down in a way that is non-lethal.
Yeah.
How much cooler would it have been? It would have felt dynamic and interesting. It would have made our choice that we both made to not shoot much more impactful, because it affects the enemies too.
Right.
And I felt so much like Faith a lot of the times that I didn't want to shoot. When I picked up a gun, I was like, I don't want to use this because it slows me down, and I thought that was wonderful.
Yeah.
The other thing is, if I had just known where to go moment to moment. A lot of the...
Did you hold the O button?
Yeah.
I started doing that.
Useless.
I know, but it's like general direction.
Let me finish my thought.
Yeah.
There's a lot of build up to this game with the fact that there are these giant red objects in the world that show you where to go.
Right.
And a lot of people were like, oh, well, it's games for babies because it's going to show me exactly where to go. I wish there was more red. The O button that you mentioned on the PS3 points your head in the direction where you need to go. Right. Which is completely useless when you're anywhere that you can't have a visual look at where you need to go.
Yeah.
But Dead Space does a really cool thing. When you click down the stick, it draws a little line.
Yeah.
I think if this game had a mechanic where you push the O button, and the longer you push it down, the more red shit appears in the universe.
Oh,
so you can plot your path and then go, and you go for it.
Yeah.
That would have been so much better.
The chase scene was so much fun.
There's several chase scenes.
Yeah, when you know where to go, you're like, I'm going to be able to do that. And then you even failing on that, I get it, it's my fault.
Right.
Because I didn't do exactly what I needed to do.
I think that you would lose the joy that I had of the figuring it out.
There's a lot of figuring it out.
Puzzle figuring it out. Even in the rooftop treetops and seeing when I hit O and I see general direction where I want to go, then I have to figure out how to traverse it. You know,
it's so much, but then you're trading time by having to hold down O for a longer period of time. You're trading time for.
I would just sort of get where I'm going and then. I don't think I was like.
Well,
anyway, I hope the
using it
sequel to
that
this
way.
game it takes those things into consideration
Right.
because I think that there is something really special buried beneath.
I
Can I just say too, real quick,
frustration.
Yeah.
the score, the music was awesome
Yeah,
and
it
a
was
great pairing and
Yeah.
like opposite
Story
of
was
Fallout
atrocious.
3, I loved.
It felt like the cutscenes were. I'm sorry. It felt like the cutscenes were rushed. Like they didn't
yeah.
have enough. It should have all been done in the 3D.
in game, yeah.
I don't know. I like the look of the cutscenes. I just never knew what the words anyone was saying.
Right, we have to move on. We have to move on.
Score, great pairing. And the time trial mode. I just want to say there's such replayability in this game. The time trial mode is fun. It's like playing a racing game. It's like just playing.